Welcome to the 180 podcast. This month, while talking about race and heritage, we decided to do something a little different for this podcast. We decided to watch a movie, Harriet, and discuss it afterwards. Here's what we had to say.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the 180. This week we had the opportunity to watch Harriet, the movie that depicted Harriet Tubman's run away from slavery into freedom and the way that she went back and freed others. We're going to pose a few questions to the youth here. We have about 5 or 6 youth here, and we're going to ask them a few questions about the movie and how they think experiences from the movie can be correlated to real life experiences right now. My co-host Tanya
Hello.
is going to pose some of the questions.
Yeah, let's start off with the first question. What was the underlying motivation for Harriet, and why was she so determined to free slaves even if it meant personal harm?
I think she was so determined because she had first-hand experience, and she knew what it was like to be a slave and not to have freedom.
Also, because that was her family. She set out to save them first because it was her family.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
And to segue off of that, do you think that this ties into the way we feel and experience each other today and the way that we co-regulate?
So just to simplify, do you think that Harriet's need to go back and help others, save others, ties into the way that we feel, see, and understand each other today? The way that we're able to help each other through bad stuff, we're able to experience each other's emotions, even if we're not actually going through the bad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah? Anyone else?
I don't know. I feel like it kind of ties into today's because, first of all, if my friend is facing through something, because I know him, I know the person, really closely, always try to help them, understand their situation.
I agree. I feel like, for example, I would want to help someone because as an immigrant, if I see another immigrant doesn't have to be specifically Kenya and I don't have to know them personally, but I would want to help them. I would want to help them personally because I've been through that experience firsthand. So I guess it does tie to how we correlate with each other.
Yeah. So, in several scenes, Harriet makes decisions that put her family at risk for the greater good of the cause. We view heritage as a commitment to family. Does the film portray Harriet as someone who transcends heritage to become a mother to the nation, or someone who sacrificed her own bloodline's safety?
Heritage.
Heritage?
Yeah.
What do you think so?
Because it's not even just about her family.
Mm-hmm.
It was to a point where it wasn't just about her family. It was about freedom, because everyone wanted freedom. So yes, putting her family maybe in that was necessary to help the rest for the greater good.
Anyone else?
It's the fact that she kept going back even when she didn't need to.
But I think she needed to. For her, saving them wasn't about a number or needing a quota. To her, she was actually in real time remembering her experiences, and those experiences were triggering her to save more, to free more. She wasn't doing it I don't want to say of her own accord, but to her, there was a greater purpose than just saving. It was liberating so that others could be liberated. She was not letting that hope die, so I don't think it was unnecessary.
In the movie, at one point in the movie, when she's talking to the, what was the Anti-Slave Alliance? She says at one point, if there is one slave, she will sacrifice every drop of her blood just to get that slave free. Yeah. So it was never just that she didn't have to. It was something that, it was like her calling.
Yeah, it was a calling.
It was a calling. It was a calling to her, yeah.
Harriet features beautiful cinematography,
yes,
sweeping landscapes, and a stirring musical score.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a danger in making the heritage of the hunt look cinematically beautiful? So is there a danger in making racial segregation and racial struggle look so beautiful on TV? Does it fight the actual lived experiences of slaves? Yeah. Making it look so nice and so cinematic and so beautiful with all the hair flying and all the...
They didn't capture everything. Because like sometimes they even used to eat the slaves and like use their skin for leather. They didn't capture most of it, so like
I will
Yeah.
say this movie isn't as bloody and as gory
Yeah.
to make sure that
True.
more people can watch it. Like even near the end when someone's hand gets blown off, it's not
Yeah, that's-
viscerally
yeah, that's true.
gory.
I think the movie was about showing like what slavery, like how slavery was back then, and it's also like inform people like what happened. It doesn't matter if you're black, you just trying to inform like every single race, and everyone can watch it. That the movie was quite informative, just to me, and how slavery was back then.
I tend to agree. I think they added enough details so that you, as it called to your sense of emotion as an individual, but it wasn't so grim that you had to stop watching it. Actually, it was so informative that you wanted more. There were times when I saw like some of you guys were on your phones and then you actually looked at like what happened, you were asking questions. So I think it wasn't too I guess realistic in the sense that it kind of portrayed the actual lived experiences, but it was significant and symbolic enough that it made you show appreciation for freedom and understand the struggle.
I think that the movie itself pushed the elements to really like vocalize what was happening. More so you were more invested in what was happening, so you can see what was happening, so you can see the experiences rather than being more watching the visual stuff. I think that was something the movie executed really well.
Okay.
So when Harriet meets the male leaders of the anti-slavery society in Philadelphia, she faces skepticism because she is a woman. Does the film accurately depict the intersectionality of her struggle, or does it modernize the feminist angle to make it more relatable to 2020's audience?
You guys understand what that means?
can you make it simpler?
So intersectionality just means like, does it show how black people are judged to one standard, but black women are judged to a different standard because they're black and also women.
To
Yeah.
like delve more into this, like
Yeah.
the
No.
real story of Harriet Tubman is like she had a lot of struggles because she's also a woman, right? In this film, do we see that?
I think we do because
Yeah.
even outside this, when she met the anti-slavery society man, I think what for me really showed the struggle is when they asked Gideon. Gideon was her new slave master after the old one died, right? They asked Gideon, do you know who Moses is? And then the bounty hunter said, "Oh, it's that slave girl Harriet." He was like, "It can't be Harriet. She's a woman.
Yeah.
She's a black Negro. She's a Negro woman. She cannot be Moses." In that one sentence, they literally underscored all of that. The intersectionality between race and gender.
I want to put a kind of a counterpoint because the question is specifically about the anti-slavery, and something I've noticed whenever there were scenes with Harriet and anti-slavery was that it was very little mention about her being a woman or her just like being a leader.
I don't think so.
In the specifically with the anti-slavery
But
sections,
it speaks
right?
about, does the film accurately depict intersectionality of her struggle?
In the anti-slavery.
The no, that's the above.
Yeah.
But the actual question is, does the film accurately depict intersectionality of her struggle, or does it modernize the feminist angle to make it more relatable?
I think
so
it's
if we're
yes
answering the
and
question, the above the part where he talks about Harriet meeting the leader, that's all a precursor to the question. The question starts: does the film accurately depict the intersectionality? I think it does.
What do you guys think?
I think it does too, because when she first like went to the slave, when she first got out of slavery, I went to the office, and when she said she wanted to go back, everyone around her were so like they were so against it. I don't know, maybe like she couldn't do it, or maybe she wasn't strong enough. But when she started bringing people back from out of slave to freedom, they kind of had more courage in her.
I agree, and even watch this. Let's look at women outside of color. In the same movie, the mother was technically the slave owner. The mother of Gideon. Gideon's mother was technically the slave owner, but she could not make any decisions.
Oh yes.
Gideon had to make all the decisions. So I think the movie does show that, because even when we're not talking about black women, she couldn't make decisions. And then when Harriet brought back slave, when they were meeting in the senator's kind of house, and she was speaking up, there was a lot of underscore of, oh, you can't do this, it's too far, you only do this. It was like, okay, you've already surpassed our expectation, but don't go too far because you're only a woman. You can only fit in this box. So you've already exceeded that box. So don't like break the standard now.
Yeah, I think it does. Even when she went to Philadelphia and met the woman, what was her name? The woman who owned the
Mary?
house. Mary?
I think it was Mary.
The
Oh,
one
the
who
lady that died?
ended up getting
The,
the
the
Yeah.
one that was.
Yeah, she was really shocked. Like, she was looking at her and she was like, "Yeah, I am black. I'm
Yeah,
black, and
I remember,
I'm a woman,
yes.
and I own this." She was really
Yes.
shocked.
Yeah.
So I think it does. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's sad, but no.
So in the beginning of the film, we see the Brothers family in moments of prayer and
Domesticity.
Yes, yes. Does humanizing the oppressors provide a deeper look at the benefit of banality, of evil, or does it risk creating a dangerous empathy for people who are committing crimes against humanity?
So it's saying like just the fact that these white people were actually praying
Yeah.
to God and singing, does that representation risk making it look like even evil people are also good sometimes?
No. I mean,
Huh?
I think.
I think
I
so.
kind of think I think it did a great job in showing us that sometimes the people that are super righteous, or because they were very okay, you guys go, we've already did church, now go home and make your Sunday gravy to go with your corn pudding. They were very, the white people, the whatever the name were, they were very kind of Christian in that sense. But as soon as that service was done, they went back to being slave owners. So I think it didn't contrast. It was just they were making an accurate depiction of how the process was. To me, it wasn't like it was, I didn't see it that way.
I think the question is also asking, like, is it okay to humanize or humanize an antagonist or like these people who are evil, like slave owners, right?
Yeah.
And it's worried about, is humanizing them glorifying them, right?
Well, they were human.
But like
I think it's
giving
just-
them
it's not,
more
like, justified,
fleshed
though.
aspects instead of just being a slave
antagonist
owner.
being,
Yeah, just like being a one-dimensional slave owner, right?
Yeah.
Because they're humans, so they have different aspects. Is giving them something that is similar to our protagonist, similar to Harriet, glorifying them.
I don't think it's glorifying them. I think it's just showing exactly how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just wolf and
Sheep's clothing.
sheep's. Yeah.
Okay, so by focusing on Harriet as a one-of-a-kind superhero, does the film inadvertently imply that other enslaved people who didn't escape were simply less brave or less chosen?
Some of them
I
had
don't think
things
so.
to stay back for, like kids. Some of them were scared.
her
Like, I would be
sister.
scared because if you were caught running away, like, I
It's
would
life
be
or
killed.
death, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like her sister. I think it
And
was
she
very
had her
brave
kids.
of them to leave, but I wouldn't have left. I would be so scared. I'm not gonna lie.
There's also the group of people who did like choose to leave, and we get that time with them too.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that they're not less brave, they just want to live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they had, like, things to do.
We still have the question about
We're on
one of a kind hero.
or one of a kind.
I don't know. I kind of feel I'm in the middle because even look at the scene where she was about to cross the river. She was praying to God and she was like,
That's the
"Follow
scene I'm
me."
thinking about, right?
And this man, this big strapping 7-foot man, was like, "You're gonna get us all killed." He was showing the kind of divisiveness that would lie into slaves being less brave or less chosen. He was being he was like, "Let's go back and let's follow me. She'll get you all killed." I guess for me, there's certain parts of the movie where it was like, was she the only one really thinking with her brain? Because these slaves were out in the field, and I guess I'm not there, so I don't understand the immense pressure that was on them not to run, because they knew running meant that their family could get hurt or whatever. But they're out in the big field at night, no one's checking on you. Like, I feel like it's probably impacting the thing that everyone could have ran, but I feel like it wasn't the fact that she was more chosen or more brave. It was just that she took advantage of the skill set she had. She understood that this is the end. Like, if I don't make this run, they're going to sell me. And she ran. And then there's a big part of this movie too is that she always said, they always said, "Oh, you made this trip alone." She was always like, "Nope, it was me and God. It was me and God." All the time. For her, it wasn't, I guess in that sense she was more chosen, but for her it wasn't more about bravery, it was more about obeying.
I don't think obeying's the right word though. But I think, like, again, we mentioned at the beginning it was like a calling, right? like a mission for
Yes,
her.
yeah, for her it was more of a con. I agree, actually, I agree.
Yeah. So, let's move on to, does the film lean too heavily on the benevolent white ally, like the character of Thomas Garrett, to make the story more palatable for a mainstream audience? Or is it an accurate reflection of the multiracial cooperation required for the Underground Railroad?
Who is Thomas Gillen again?
I think one of the
Wait, can you
So
repeat that?
basically,
Oh, wait.
it's asking if the film is giving too much of a like white savior complex,
I don't think so.
No,
don't
or
think so.
like,
if there's more
I
multiracial like.
I think during that time there was still like a lot of good white people that were against slavery. So
I agree with that. I was
Yeah.
actually so surprised when I saw the senator welcoming all these black people into his house. I'm like, wow, this is not something to teach us in history.
Yeah.
History was white people enslaved us, and you know,
History is also very like, I find very, how do I say it, like
It
the
confounds
nuance of history gets boiled out a lot,
Yeah.
yeah.
especially if we want to like tell something. Again, history loses a lot of its facts.
Yeah.
Like I got in, like back home, I learned a lot of African history, like history about this, but it's so different. Like when I came here, and I read books and like hearing Josiah talk, it's so different from what we learned back in Africa, like African history. Like it's so different, and it was so shocking to me. I don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy. I want to pose another question. After watching Harriet's immense physical sacrifice, does the film leaving us, or like us, black viewers, does it leave us feeling either empowered or exhausted?
Both.
Both. What do you guys think?
empowered, because it kind of shows how just one person how one person could change like so much in history.
I don't know, I kind of lean to the exhausted kind of, like, obviously I'm not leaving 750 slaves out of slavery, but I kind of resonate with her need to save people. That kind of the superhero complex, the need to, when you experience something, your immediate thing is, how can I stop others from experiencing that? So I lived in the shelter system. I lived in, I've experienced that, and my one dedication has been for a long time. Okay, how do I make this experience better for people? And I think watching this, I see even at the end, she was looking like 100 years old and still over there trying to fight wars. I cannot see myself doing that in 100 years. I can't see myself doing that in 20 years. Like, I know my energy will be depleted. This film leaves me wondering, do all leaders have to lead forever? Does it have to be a fight until you die kind of situation? That kind of exhaustion.
Well, as a leader, you never stop leading. You just like choose a new path.
But does the load ever become any less? Does it become any lighter?
No, that's the point.
Yeah, so that's why I'm leaning into the exhaustion kind of feeling. Like, I'm very empowered, but I'm empowered in the fact that I've renewed my decision to walk away soon, because I think she had a lot on her shoulders, and she kept taking more and more and more. And I guess this doesn't show you her deterioration. It shows the strong, powerful black woman. But I can guarantee you, she was mentally drained, physically drained, and I think as an individual, her compass was drained. Okay, I think we can do like 2 more questions.
2 more? All right.
Do you want to read the second to last one?
Second to last one? Oh, okay, the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do, why do you think that the Mars? What?
Makers.
Oh my gosh. Why do you think that the makers of the movie added long, intense speeches before every major event?
To show us what she was thinking, and to show like how serious the moment was. Like when before she was gonna shoot the guy, she wasn't really gonna shoot him. She just wanted us to see why she did it, and also because she just knew she couldn't. She wouldn't. That's not who she is. Yeah. And a lot of us were thinking, why can't she kill him? Why can't she kill him?
Yeah.
Because we had to understand her, and if she has been witnessing so many people being killed, why would she go and do that to other person, even if they're white?
I find it so interesting you say that, because that was the third or second to last scene, right?
Yeah.
But what was the last scene? The last scene was her raising that gun. And
there was a lot of
preparing for
discussion
that.
over
Yeah.
here
Well,
too,
she's
actually.
exhausted.
The last scene was her like exactly. She was exhausted.
What did you say?
The last scene was her saying, "Look, this is it. This is the last fight. We're going down with the fight."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think someone over here said something very interesting. Near the very last scene, it's like, why didn't you shoot him? Why didn't she shoot him? And then someone said, to break him, right? Somewhere
There
over
we
here.
go. There we go.
Someone over here. No, it wasn't me. It was someone
It was
over
me.
here.
Definitely.
No, it was not you. I think it was Chris. It was
That's
Chris.
very deep. That's true.
It was Chris.
And it's so funny because he was chasing her not as a slave, but he was chasing her as a lover. I want you to watch that.
Yeah.
Like we could tell, even when he was talking about her from like when she was a kid.
He was chasing her as a lover.
Like-
And the worst thing, the easiest thing she could have done was killed him.
It's also because ever since like he was growing up, he always knew she was there. Like even though he didn't like her, she was always there.
Property.
So now that she wasn't there, it was like he was missing something.
Yup. There we go. Okay, who's paying attention?
Me.
All right, last question. What can you take away from Harriet's journey, her struggles, and her perseverance, as well as her legacy? As Black individuals, as cultured individuals, we're all here from different countries, or some of us from the same country, but with different cultures. What part of her journey resonates most with you, and why? I'll start then. For me, it was her need to do more. After she saved 10, she wanted to go and save 15. After she saved 15, for her, there was never a benchmark to which she felt comfortable. It was always, there's space to do more, so I will do more. And I think for me and my culture, Barbadians were very lend a hand, be supportive, be encouraging. This idea of co-regulation, being able to help people through their suffering. And I think for me as an individual, a cultured individual from the West Indies, from Barbados, I think that resonated with me a lot. Because she could have quit at any point. Even when they pushed the Black persons out of Pennsylvania, they had to run to the senator's house. She was like, we're not giving up because the journey got harder or because the journey got longer. We're buckling down and we're doing it even more. And for me, that resonated with me a lot.
For me, it was, how do you say this? Harriet's willingness to do whatever it took, no matter what people told her that she could or couldn't do. Throughout the movie, especially at the beginning, we see everyone tell her, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you won't make it. You can't read. You won't get far. You're going to die. You're not going to make it. She makes it.
I have one.
Time and time again, she proves that she can do it herself no matter what people tell her to do. No matter what people say she can or cannot do. They tell her, it's too long. You cannot bring slaves from the border of Canada. It's like 600 miles. She still did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And especially as a woman.
Yeah?
Especially
Yes! Especially
as a woman, I like that.
The fact that she kept going back for her family, like even after she went back like 3 times, and there was always someone who refused to go, she still kept going back because like that's her family. And like I was thinking, why can't she just leave them? Like she doesn't want to go, but that's her family. They've been through the same struggles. Like you can't just go and live with other people who don't understand your pain. Like your family was like there for you, and she had to go back for them.
Okay, I like that. You connected with that.
It's the part when she first went to save the slaves. When one of those slaves started fighting back and said they want to lead the group instead. It's the fact that she kept going and didn't give up. She didn't turn back. She just went forward and just waited for them to follow her.
She led by example.
Yeah.
I like that. You guys, what part of her journey, her struggle resonates with you as an individual based on your culture?
For me, is like not listening to outside voices, like not letting other people's like opinions impact your decision. I think that's the part that resonates with me the most. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The 180. It has been a blast, and we hope to hear you next time.
Thanks for listening. This is The 180. Seek the challenge, be the change.